Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to 60 seconds. So let's hop into another game. What were we doing here? See, there's just kind of a couple of endings and scenarios I'd like to actually see succeed. And I'm not really willing to spend the time to look up how they succeed on those. So I want to just go through survival mode, I guess. Start with a little boy and let's play. Maybe the episodes will get a little bit shorter going forward because I'm going to skip through a lot of this text. We've read most of it, we've seen most of it. If we can just start this way with a random collection of items, we kind of know what we're still trying to do. The main issue is going to be about food and water. We've now done, I think, all of the endings we could do with the cat. So if we can just ignore the cat scenario, that would be great too. So the first couple days it doesn't matter, just skip directly through it. Like, see, watching somebody do a speedrun of this game would probably be interesting for about 10-15 minutes because it would really become rather obvious what's going on. Changing frequencies, we're pretty sure, behind the terrible voice. Let's just listen to that anyways. I don't think there's, most of these scenarios don't turn out to be bad anyways. Believed when it comes to, it wasn't Soviets but Canadians. Yeah, alright. Everybody wants water. Alright, so 1 water for everybody. And we can even double check here. I hate that Timmy is always staring this way, but I also kind of hate that Mary Jane has this just kind of like dumb look on her face. And I guess Dolores over here always has this kind of pissed off look on his face, and Ted always has this bored look on his face, so yeah, none of them look particularly interesting. So we're gonna send out Mary Jane in hopes that she gets mutated and send her out with the suitcase. We're missing the Boy Scout book, which is probably one of the best items, and ammunition, and the checkerboard, and the gas mask, and the map. And I think that's it. So then it's really just gonna come down to food. Let's see. We were wondering what happened to Uncle Brian. He should have been far from where the bombs fell, but no one knows for sure. It would be great to find out. He always looked on the bright side of life, so maybe we should too. But if it's not easy, say, didn't we have a photo of him tucked away in one of those books at home? So we don't have the Boy Scout book, so we can't go any further with that event. And that's the first time I've seen that event. So there are some events here. I think I could probably play another 20 games and still run into some random events. And so we are left with no photos, no news, and no happy thoughts in the wildest crew. There's probably some random in scenarios that we'll never see. I mean, we might only really be seeing about 30% of everything that possibly could be shown by the time we're done with the series. But that kind of doesn't matter either. Because of this theoretical 30% of the content we've seen, almost 100% of it I haven't liked. Not that much. Not for the price. Not even at the discounted price of $10 right now. This is barely a $3 game, and I'd probably say it's not even worth that. Like, what was that sound? This almost feels like a mobile game where I'd be willing to watch just like a banner ad at the top, and that's as much as I'm willing to do, is just free with ads. Galloping horse, we rushed to the door and were greeted by two men dressed like they'd come from a medieval fair. Whatever, we've read this one. That there was a mention of Brian, and I wondered if that was Life of Brian, which is another Monty Python movie. Lesser known than Monty Python and the Search of the Holy Grail. Slightly lesser known. They're both pretty famous movies. Maybe that's where they got the Uncle Brian name from. Although we tried to decline politely, the guests were clearly offended. They galloped away waving their wooden swords and screaming something about cutting down shrubbery. It's absolutely crazy. Timmy is very hungry. Dolores is thirsty. Ted is thirsty. Interesting. Did we skip a day and that's why we're very hungry? I wonder if there actually is a way that it would just be better to skip one day. Like, you probably could. You could probably skip one day always and feed them or give them water. Air crate we can't do, we don't have the gas mask. Let's see, I'd like to see the one where they plant the seed in the tin, in the soup can, and harvest that plant. But we probably won't see that scenario again. It's too dangerous to go out there. Timmy's in terrible shape, we should give him water now. And the other two want food. The dreadful science is becoming boring, and like every happy model family, we don't have anything to talk about, so use the radio. The odds of the radio actually breaking because you actually use the radio, I think, are 0. Let's see, nothing to report on Timmy. Dolores is doing fine. Ted says he's doing fine. Still just waiting. We didn't think we'd get a chance to increase our food supply by simply playing a card game, but that's what we've been offered by the man who knocked on the door today. 2 cans of food, we win, we get 2 cans, we lose, we give him 2 cans. I mean, this feels like this is probably a 50-50 game. Okay. So let's see what happened. We have way more food. Hi, Lady Luck smiled on us. We won a vicious game of war. The man wasn't too happy, but he gave us 2 cans. We got our suitcase back. When our expedition noticed planes in the sky, we were afraid more bombs would fall. Instead, supply crates began to rain down. We made sure that we got to one of the drops before the other survivors could loot it. The food drop. That's what we needed. What did the drop this time? Bread? Cheese? Meat? Chocolate? No, tomato soup cans. Hurry. Hooray. Someone forgot to fill the water crate with something to soften the fall. As a result, most of the bottles were shattered. Luckily, a few of them survived. That should be enough to keep us going for a bit. So we got some water. Mary Jane could use food. She's really tired. Dolores and Ted want water. I don't think there's a win scenario where you just stay inside. There might be it might make sense to stay inside early on, particularly if you don't have Mary Jane, but it seems like Mary Jane is effectively immune from getting sick from radiation. We've sent her out a lot of times and she has never come back sick. So we'll just prepare. Radio of ours has gone silent for the past few hours. We need our news, we need our music. We all agree that if it's refusing to cooperate, we need to meddle with it until it works. No. Let's just say no to that, because that sounds like a bad idea. Like, it's probably just not... no signal was being sent. Let's see. And if they all agreed, then how could I just say no? We're sure they're experiencing technical issues. Yes, that's it. Everything will be fine. Mary Jane wants food. Water for Timmy. Alright. Food and water, and we're good. And send out Timmy with the suitcase, because I think it does increase the rate of return at least a little bit. And yeah, what do we really even want? Like a map, the Boy Scout book, the gas mask. You kind of want everything in every run. The checkerboard. Mary Jane is getting hungry and thirsty. So we'll just give her food. I can't really imagine a scenario where kids would go out and not realize that they were being sent out as pawns by the parents to scavenge stuff. If you were to really do this, like, it really, in my mind, should be the opposite. It should be that the parents prioritize themselves and go out first, but the gameplay mechanics are all around against that. Let's see. What if we were just to skip the military saving us scenario? Well, let's just skip it. We start it every time, and it's boring, and it's really not going to go anywhere, so we're just going to skip it. Every opportunity it comes up, it's going to come up a lot of times, though. If there's one thing we need to do, it's use the radio on a regular basis to catch up on emergency broadcasts that might be transmitted in our area. Mary Jane wants food, water for Dolores, and Ted. You know, these names could have been shorter too. This is particularly only an issue for me who's reading it out loud, but if you had gone with a single syllable name for each of these people, that would have been better. So go with Ted, and then let's say, what would, you could have just been Mary instead of Mary Jane here. Timmy could have been Tim, but maybe not Tim because you wouldn't want two T names, and they did do that. So go with like Bob, Tim, Mary, and Jane. That could have worked easily, or Mary and Jane, like that. Or, you know, it could have been a reference to that old TV show Lost in Space. You know, Will, Danger Will Robinson, and one of the two female characters on Lost in Space was named Judy, and I don't remember the parents' names in Lost in Space, but that would have been a interesting reference to do. We're either going crazy or the entire shelter is crawling with little insects, or worse, it's worse, they're spiders. Alright. So we don't want to use the first aid spray, the first aid kit to get rid of spiders, so we'll use the bug spray. Let's see. When it's us or them, there shouldn't be any reservations when it comes to choosing your arsenal. Blah 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 blah. We got food. We used up the bug spray. Let's see. Dolores wants food, and let's just double check how that is. Even like writing it here, Mary Jane is too long of a name. Let's see. Mary Jane is insane. Ted is dead. Timmy. I don't know what rhyme you could do there. I don't think anything rhymes with Dolores. Not anything except for dirty words. Let's see, day 14. This is like the default, we have nothing to say whatsoever. We can take care of ourselves. Water and food for Ted. Our supplies are scarce and our moral low. You can almost smell the desperation in the shelter. Pretty sure there's a small group of survivors nearby, mostly old folks from the retirement home. It shouldn't be hard to borrow some of their supplies. Our supplies are not low in any way. It's weird that that scenario is happening. Let's just click no to that. Alright. He brought back ammunition, maybe more food and water, but no map, and he lost a suitcase. So, and no checkerboard or gas mask. We're no bandits. Sure, we need the supplies, but not at the cost of others. We won't bother these people. A man who takes canned soup from another man is not worthy to taste that soup. Let's just hope that everybody else out there is as decent as our family. So afraid for Timmy. Our house wasn't the only sufferer. Most of the neighborhood was destroyed in the blast, blah blah blah. We found a refrigerator in the middle of our neighbor's lawn. Even without electricity, the light inside was on. Contained quite a few soup cans and surprisingly a broken fedora. It wasn't edible. We tried. Indiana Jones 4 reference. If the light was on, that's because radio waves are setting off the light bulb. That would be the only thing I could think of. The light was glowing because it was radioactive. I'm not sure either one of those would actually legitimately happen. It appears Mr. Jenkins from down the road was brewing his own moonshine. We discovered a few bottles of label that suggests that high percentage of alcohol, but the stuff tastes like water, so we assume he failed. Plus 1 water. So he came back with 1 food can of soup, 1 water. Ben and kids were playing war nearby the ruins. They had plenty of real guns and ammunition, so they gave us ammunition. And we lost the suitcase. Mary Jane is fine. Timmy is really hungry. Water for Dolores and Ted. So now that we're back to this point, let's just make sure. Hungry, tired, thirsty, thirsty. So unless Mary Jane gets arrested, then I don't know what else to we'll just have to send out Ted again. Or we'll send out Dolores. I think I'll send out Dolores from now on just to see if there's different outcomes depending on who you send out. Let's see, telephone. Sure, send out Timmy. I don't know what the telephone, answering the telephone does though. Like, either this is the beginning of the brother and sister scenario, or it does absolutely nothing. It might be the beginning of the brother and sister scenario, but it really doesn't seem clear. Timmy is hungry. Seems like that's it. Everybody else is good to go. Let's prepare for another trip. I guess both of them are pretty immune to radiation. Seems like everybody is. Because nobody's really coming back sick, even if they leave without the gas mask. Maybe that's because we're just playing on easy, and we might really have to bump it up to a medium or hard game. In fact, yeah, I think we need to bump it up to a medium game next time and try it. We may die real early, but but we need to see if that triggers more events or different events. Water for Mary Jane, food for Timmy. Okay. Water, food. And just double check. Hungry. Thirsty. Nothing for these two. And out Wilson Dolores. Empty-handed. Maybe Dolores has a higher chance of going crazy. That might be it. If there is anything. So Timmy needs both. And Ted needs water. It really needs like a check mark. Like a little green check mark that just shows up above each person's head when you have the right things clicked. Shady looking this would give us the cat scenario, and I'm just gonna skip the cat scenario because I don't want to see the cat scenario. Maybe if you just skip a lot of these scenarios, you'll have more food. Our grandparents always told us to never buy anything sight unseen. We're not about to start now. Gone are the times of yard sales. We can manage without whatever junk was in that mysterious bag. Mary Jane needs food. We don't need to read this, we've already read this. It's just they got into an argument. Let's see, we stopped arguing, but for how long? Mary Jane is thirsty. Ted is hungry. No. Let's see, find out more information with the radio. We were saying no to that. Like, I'm just saying no to every in scenario. I wonder if maybe that opens some other in scenarios up. Let's see. Say ignorance is bliss another day without any clue what might be going on. Timmy has rested, and Ted wants water. So we can send Timmy back out like next time. But Ted is also thirsty? Did I really say that? Oh yeah, it does say that. Wow. Sometimes I am missing the instructions. Timmy is not doing great. It would be good to talk to him and try and cheer him up. Okay. Sure. Even a word or two may be enough to brighten someone's mood. Timmy seems to be better now. There's nothing new about Mary Jane. Timmy seems okay as much as he can. Yeah, no resources needed for anybody. There we go. Skip forward to the next day. Let's see. Water is what Mary Jane. Timmy is hungry. Okay. Let's come back here. We're gonna run out of water pretty soon here. It almost feels like Mary Jane was irradiated and that's why she's so thirsty, but it's not getting maybe that's what how the mutation happens, is you just have to send her out as the first search person without any protection and then feed her and give her a significant amount of water. Alright. And I think that fixed this. Let's not even bother with the water, it's not like you can whatever learn anything useful. A little trip to the surface might have been spotted, we might have been followed. Come across the church at the end of the road, it was mostly destroyed, but the priest's quarters survived the blast. Cultists decide they won't be needing the holy water, so they gave us 2 water. It's always better when things are calm. Let's see. Mary Jane's fine. Timmy needs water. Dolores needs food. Ted needs water. Let's double check that. Thirsty. Nothing. Thirsty. Hungry. Alright. We got that right. And start to prepare to send somebody else out. Oh dear, we just remembered we planned on taking a trip south in 2 months. If it's still there, we are going, right? We're pretty sure they don't bomb warm places. So just continue moving forward. We can make it work, even in Toronto. Question is, how do we find a boat to get there? We heard the best way to get to Europe. Mary Jane wants food and she's fatigued. Timmy is pretty fatigued. Dolores would love to eat something. Alright, so Dolores and Mary Jane get food. And Timmy's going out on the trip. Empty-handed. We should get Mary Jane something to drink. Timmy went into the wasteland. There's like no starting paragraph here at all. Dolores would love to eat something. Dolores can't remain thirsty for long. And Ted is hungry. So Mary Jane, this and this, right? He's just hungry. She's thirsty. And that's it. It says she's just thirsty. She's thirsty and hungry. And tired and fatigued. Okay, so we've got that right. And we're just gonna keep on ignoring the radio. And it seems like the game just like does not like that at all when we ignore the radio. Let's see. Dolores is hungry. Ted is thirsty. Hungry, thirsty. And forward we go. The boredom and silence are overwhelming. Too bad we don't have a TV to keep us occupied. This is new. But maybe we could take advantage of some of our supplies and pretend they're props in a movie set. So, I guess if we had the suitcase we could have done that, but we don't. We have the axe, so we might as well do this and see what happens if it breaks the axe. That'll suck, but whatever. Let's see. Ted and Mary use the big cinema buffs. Blah blah blah. We've already read this. Mary Jane is arrested. Let's see. So it seems like nobody needs anything. And we're ready to send Mary Jane back out there. And we're approaching day 30 in 30 minutes when we stop reading everything. But man, if most games are supposed to go 60 to 80 days, or can go up to even 111 or longer, yeah, that's still gonna be an hour and a half of gameplay. Let's see, water for Mary Jane and water for Dolores. We're slowly running out of water this time, which is kind of the opposite of the last game we played where we had a ton of it. During the night we heard some suspicious sounds from coming behind our door. When we peeked this morning we saw a leather suitcase, had an address on it, named on it, but we're pretty sure it was meant for us. Should we open it? Yes, let's open it. Ted is sick. Interesting. But we got the checkerboard. That's nice. Inside the suitcase was some soup, but yuck, it expired a long time ago. We're not feeling very well. Some of us spent the whole morning using the bucket in the corner. We're not accepting anonymous gifts ever again. So afraid for Timmy. May so paranoid, but we think someone followed us. Let's just hope that doesn't happen again. When walking aimlessly in the ruins, it's not unusual to we're drawn to places we knew and loved, even though we weren't specifically looking for it. We found ourselves in front of our favorite bowling alley. The bar didn't have much to offer, some rotten salads, a bunch of burnt peanuts, and for some reason a cowboy hat. We were happy to find a secret stash of soup cans under the rubble, some more soup. Cool. Desperate times for call for desperate measures, so we weren't surprised to see someone place water bottles instead of bowling pins at the end of the lane. We're sorry to ruin their setup, but we really need that water, so +2 water. The venue had its own game room where you could relax after running around with huge heavy balls. Most of the games were missing or damaged, but we found a decent checkerboard with almost all the pieces. Guaranteed hours of fun. Let's see. Timmy is hungry. Dolores is rested. Ted needs water. Ted became infected with something. Ted is pretty fatigued. Have we seen anybody die from sickness? Or has it been from wounds up until this point? I think we can heal this just fine. And give him water. And that won't be too big of a deal. I probably wouldn't do it if it was one of the kids, but since he's the adult and the game prioritizes adults, we'll heal him up. We have a decent amount of water now, but it's still kind of low compared to the amount of food we have. We're paid a visit by a young man worried about his twin sister who went missing in an abandoned camp. Alright, who do we want to send on this one? Dolores because she's fatigued? No. Is anybody tired? Timmy. So we'll send Timmy back out. Unless we just want to see a negative outcome, which we really don't. I don't care about this game enough to try and see every single negative outcome possible. Alright, so that should start a new end. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. They saved the sister from the bandit leader who was their father. Mary Jane needs food. Timmy is hungry. Ted recovered from his sickness. So food, and that's all we really need to do. And prepare to send out Mary Jane again. Stumble on the remains of a Banty shanty town. We can see a cat licking its paws nonchalantly. This is another way we could get Sarkov. But I don't want Sarkov. Like, we could almost certainly win if we went the Sarkov route in a couple different ways. We've got plenty of food to give 4 food cans away to either the scientists or the or the Men in Black. But we've seen both of those endings, so let's just say no. I think we're kind of saying no to everything, but I bet not everything. We probably saying yes to something, and so we wouldn't get that achievement. Mary Jane wants water. Timmy is hungry. Doris wants water. Ted is hungry. So it's the 2 males that are hungry and the other 2 females that are thirsty. Right? They put this rifle in the wrong place. If it was just hanging higher, or if it was over here on the side, that would be way better. And then put well, I know this was added later for DLC, but seriously, put something else here that I won't click on all the time. Alright, send out Mary Jane with nothing. And like, we're looking for the map in the Boy Scout book, and that's kind of it. The bug spray and bug spray gas mask could also show up, and otherwise it's just more water, more food. Let's see. Timmy needs both food and water. Dolores needs food. Ted needs water. And let's just continue to ignore the radio. And tired, fatigued. So nobody needs anything for today. Let's see. Just skip through that entire day. Nothing happened. It seems like it's almost pre-programmed for the events to happen on certain days to be in direct reaction to what you did in the previous day. So 2 days ago it asked me to listen to the radio. I said no. The next day nothing happened. I imagine had I listened to the radio, something would have happened. Thirsty. Dolores is thirsty, and I think that is it. Keep having to come back and just double check. It's too easy to make a mistake here. Just keep on skipping forward. And we may not hear of... Like, we may have lost Mary Jane. She may not be coming back. Water for Timmy and Ted. Okay. What could we see? A woman with a creature she claims to be a camel, provided the camels have 5 legs, animals carrying a pack of goods. Offers 2. We could get 4 waters right now if we gave away our radio. Interesting. Or 1 water if we gave away the ammunition, which the ammunition, for the most part, I think is just a trading item. Well, I'm not doing anything with the radio. I'm not going to use it, so let's trade that away and get 4 waters. So that's probably a good deal. We exchanged goods with the trader and she went away. Before she left, she insisted that we should listen to the radio broadcast if we ever want to get out of the shelter and find a safer place to be. Well, we lost our radio, so we can't do that. So that's almost like the last ditch effort of the game to say, no, you actually have to listen to radio broadcasts if you want to win. I'm just being obstinate at this point. Let's see, skipping through a lot of this dialogue. It's the same old, same old. Mary Jane was supposed to be back in a few days. It's been too long. We fear something happened to her. Planning far ahead is usually a good strategy, but for now, we should be more interested in what our plan for water rationing. Timmy is hungry. Water for Dolores. Ted is hungry. 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 Thirsty. And let's just start preparing. Or hope that Timmy can go out there, but if he can't, we'll send out somebody else. And we'll skip this because we don't want the cat. And that scenario feels like it always is the cat. It's never the dog. Grandparents never thought anything to buy anything sound unseen. Timmy wants water. Ted needs water. Well, we're good with water. Just come over here and just double check. Yeah. We'll send Ted out because I think we've sent Dolores out a couple times already. So now it feels like we haven't sent him out as enough. No good news is good news. Dolores needs food. Alright, so a little bit of food for Dolores. We can't listen to the radio, so no point in that. I imagine each one of those pop-ups to listen to the radio would be a different step in the event of being saved by the military had you done the previous step. I don't think you'll get listen to the radio and then you hear a military transmission and then you get the same event again in one playthrough. Let's see. Dolores wants some water. Skip forward. And the funny, like, dancing radioactive roaches doesn't happen enough. None of the weird, funny scenarios do. I've played a lot of games where they have some weird, funny, event-based things that pop up. And each one of those felt special. But a big part of those games is the core gameplay mechanic was so refined and so good that you really wanted to keep on playing the game long enough to see that little Easter egg event. In this case, it isn't. It's incredibly repetitive. I really keep saying it over and over again, and I'm really just trying to go through my mind, when am I going to get burned out on this? Because I could probably go for several more hours playing this, but is it really worth the time? Is there anything more to say? We're just kind of holding out for some different events to see, but we haven't. Let's see. Timmy wants water. Alright, so we'll do that. And honestly, I've probably only played like 10 games. Let's see. So here, let's. Do you want to say no on the harmonica? No, let's say yes on the harmonica. Well, we already said yes, and it brought the cockroaches, and eventually the cockroaches gave us more food. So, how are we doing on food? 8 cans. If we say no, we're opening ourselves up to going crazy. Let's say no. Let's see what the exact wording is on that. Alright. It seems like he didn't come back with anything. Sudden urge to play passed as fast as it came. We just don't feel like it anymore. We want to do something else now. Let's all sit in complete silence and spend several days until another great idea strikes. Ted returned safely. We believed that our expedition was wasteland must have been followed by strangers. We should be more cautious. A pile of car wrecks revealed that we stumbled across a big parking lot. Almost no cars survived the blast, but when we went between the wrecks we explored anyways. Under the burnt remains of a picnic table we get 2 bottles of water. Seems like the bomb interrupted somebody's picnic. Thankfully they're big fans of tomato soup, and the indestructible cans were scattered all around the parking lot. 2 cans of food. Timothy is doing fine. Dolores is doing fine. And Ted needs food. And we can just double check this. And we're good to start packing up and preparing to send Timmy out again. Our patience is wearing thin. I thought it would be a good idea to take a quick look outside to see if there's any trouble in the area. As we're about to step out, a pair of animal eyes flashed in the darkness and their owners started growling the most terrifying way. We have only moments to decide. So if we use a flashlight, this will be Pancake the dog, I believe, and that's what I would like to see, is that scenario. And it's day 43 that even starts that path. We decided to check with a flashlight. Guess what? There was a dog. The poor thing seemed tired, so we let it stay for the night. The next morning, we opened the door to let it out, and it still hasn't returned. Hopefully, it will come back later. Hungry. Timmy is hungry. Ted is hungry. Dolores wants water. Okay. Still doing perfectly fine. And we have lost Mary Jane, unless she's planning on coming back as a mutated version of herself later on. I mean, what do we really want? Things would be helpful, certainly, but I'm not sure if we really need anything. Let's see. Ted needs both food and water. When Dolores came back from the expedition the other day, she had a tiny scratch on her leg. It didn't seem serious, but right now it's quite a terrible sight. Use the axe on her. Yes. Apparently the axe is the right answer too. Apparently we lost our axe though. Let's see, Dolores is hungry, Ted is hungry. So, food for both of them. We are not doing bad at all for day 46. Lots of food. But do we have really a win scenario? Let's see. Dolores is thirsty. Give her some water, move forward. Radio event again. And the game is really not going to help you. I would certainly have thought about, if I was just developing this game or directing it, I would have thought about at a certain point it just saying, no, we've got to force this guy down a path. We have to have a random event that they cannot say no to. We have to take, I guess, the agency away from the player at some point. Let's see. Ted is thirsty. Let's see. Scratching on the door could mean only one thing. Our dog friend is back. We raced to open the door, not considering it might have been a mutated beast, but luck smiled on us. The furry fellow seemed really tired and hungry. Should we feed him? Yes. That's fine by me. The dog was back to its former self in under now. We don't know what they put in the soup, but man, that stuff is good. Blah blah blah. Pancakes stayed around for a while, but it was gone the next morning. We can bet he will be back. One can of soup gone. An entire can of soup for the dog. That's actually quite a lot compared to what the family is eating. And seems like neither one of them need anything. Alright. And we can prepare, but there's really no reason to prepare. Ah, darn it. We didn't pack any razors when we came down to the shelter, and now some of us can be confused with a Sasquatch. A good sharp axe might be the perfect replacement for a razor. We don't have the axe to shave his beard on day 49. It would have been a smart move to do that anyways, but you would have gotten an achievement. No axe, no shave. Maybe another time. Let's see, Dolores wants water. Right. We're getting very little going on right now. Like, it's... I guess we could send... Wait a minute. We sent Timmy out, and I guess he's not coming back because it just asked me if I wanted to prepare to send someone else out, and that wouldn't work that way. Ted wants water. Alright. We can, I guess, send out Dolores. It's not a problem because there still will be an adult, he'll just be fatigued. We hear a knock on the door, but the brothers and sisters have befriended us some time ago. They're quite ambitious together with the group. They're trying to construct houses. They want the fire axe. We don't have the fire axe, so unfortunately we can't help them. So yeah, we can send her out, but until she comes back and she's somewhat healthy, we can't send him out next time. Let's see, we wish we had an axe. Its wood chopping qualities are quite useful, but it's even better as a deadly weapon against bandits. Either way, we obviously couldn't help our friends today. Dolores is hungry. Right. So we send her out. And that shouldn't be game over, just because he's tired. Ted's stomach is rumbling. So this is getting really simple. Being safe down there is much better than being pulverized out there, but that doesn't mean we don't want to go outside. Maybe we can take a walk soon. The neighborhood is probably much more peaceful since the bombings. So Ted is left to his own devices. Water for Ted. And we don't have the radio. it's really only the dog scenario or some scenario we haven't seen before that we even have a chance of winning. So just skip. Hey, it's Pancake. Our friend is back, but it seems very nervous. He keeps barking and jumping. When we opened the door, he rushed out only to come back a moment later and back again. Maybe we should follow him. What gear should we take? We have to take the gun, because that's all we can take. So Old Yeller is having us save Timmy, who fell down the well, and he got hurt for it. Dylan's saying, better safe than sorry. The rifle seems to be the right choice of gear for venturing into the unknown. We didn't expect to run into trigger hopper folk who started shooting before asking questions. Gunshots were enough to send Pancake running. We got back safely, but he didn't show up. Better safe than sorry might not be the best choice of words if you got shot. And that's what happened. One of those thugs had a good aim. Ted was hurt. And we can't heal him. So, the wasteland is full of surprises, like the man on the other side of the door knocking and claiming that he's willing to offer a lot for decent ammunition. Shall we trade? So, if I give him regular ammunition, that's probably what we want. But I could also give him the checkers. I'd do the ammunition first, though. Checkers, I've seen a lot more scenarios where checkers play a role than ammunition does. And he gave us a radio. Yay! We hand him the ammunition to a stranger and he offered us something of true value in return. A working radio. Ted is really thirsty. We can barely breathe in the shelter. If we do this, we're gonna get hurt. But we might as well do it anyways. Or at least we got hurt last time. We used the flashlight on it. Wonder if I should just use the radio. Ted is fine. Literally 3 words, that's all there is. Like, I mean, I can't prepare. There's no reason to. So he's looking trader, equally scuffy bag. Pay the visit. He offered us a simple deal for a can of soup. Should we make the deal? Nope. There might be a different ending on the radio path other than just the military saving you. Although it seems pretty obvious that the radio path is the first and primary way to be saved. Alright, Ted is hungry. Jeez, it must be really, really dangerous outside because, let's see. Judging by the sound of gunfire and screams, it seems like the band of thugs has taken control of the area. Going out could be very risky. And that would explain why we lost all of our family. At breakfast, we heard a knock at the door. How many water do we have? 7.5 versus 6.75. It was a man of rather excessive number of arms. He told us that his group was having a hard time finding supplies. Whenever they go out, they get shot at first sight and ask questions later. It's probably because of their appearance. The friendly mutant presented us with an offer. In exchange for some supplies, his folks will escort us to the next expedition and make sure we come back home safely. Sure. Let's side with the mutants. And he's now crazy. And see, that's, I think, how this would always end up. And it's so random. The stranger quickly became a friend when we agreed to his terms. It doesn't cost that much, and when we sleep easy knowing we'll come safely back from our next drift to the surface. Ted needs water, and he's crazy, and we can't heal him. And we're gonna just prepare. But I don't think we're ever gonna be able to actually leave on an expedition. What's the thing that's stopping him right now? The fact that he's tired? I guess that's what's stopping it. Playing far ahead is usually a good strategy. Ted's mental health worries us all, but we don't know how to help him. Yeah, we can't send anybody, so I'm just waiting for him to rest. Day 62, and basically nothing's gonna happen. Either we're gonna lose, or that's kind of it. Now, when he's crazy, does he stop having the ability to tell us if he's thirsty or hungry? I guess not. Let's see. As long as we have food and water, we can stay locked in, but we have to leave eventually. Be a good idea to head straight. I mean, I'm just gonna stick with this. This is probably gonna be a loser game anyways. We'll just refuse to do the military scenario, so we stay here longer. Water for Ted. He's still not rested. Eventually we're gonna run out of resources. And kinda nothing is happening for quite a long time now. See, this just feels wrong in the way the game is developed. Like, it feels like the game is telling us we have to play the game's way instead of the game saying, no, you play your way and we'll be open-ended enough for you to do that. Like, I'm almost certain that there was at least a few sections of one of the Telltale Walking Dead games very much like this, where people were stuck in an area and had to ration and had to make hard decisions. Yeah, there were definitely, like, the motel section, I'd say, was like that. And that, even though the branching paths weren't that branching and they just merged very quickly after they split apart back into one single path, the polish on the Telltale Walking Dead games, particularly the first season of the game, is so much better than this is. Let's see. Ted is really thirsty and he's sick now. We could get some extra supplies. The last time we went on supply run, we noticed the damaged tank stuck in the rumble nearby. How about we send someone? So this might be the mutants will help us, or this might be we just die. Yeah. Okay. We died. Last thing we expected was a giant explosion, but we could hear the debris falling from the sky and hitting the sad remains of our house. The tank must have been booby-trapped or contained volatile explosives. Why did we do it? Why? Of all the places we could have perished, this was probably the best one, or maybe not. We survived 67 days. So I want to just look at the breakdown here of when did we really stop getting events. Like from day 15 to day 24, nothing happened. From day 43 to day 47, nothing happened. And that made it to day 67. Let's see, we made 3 yes decisions and 4 no decisions. We survived 67 days. We defended the shelter 0 times. Yeah, but at this point I think I've got like 2 more games in me, frankly. Alright, win ratio is back down to 33%. Still have yet to have anybody actually die from sickness or injuries. Let's see. Did we unlock any more achievements? Yeah, I really don't care about this achievement, and I don't think we'll probably get it. We might get that, we might not. Kind of just depends on this. I don't know what this one is, so we probably won't get those. Bug Hunter apparently requires something more. The pancake dog achievement here, we tried that and we still didn't get to it. We almost had that, but we didn't have the axe at that point. We're still trying to get the mutant daughter. Miracle, I don't know how you do that one. We probably would have run into that one eventually if I just stayed with it a little bit longer and kept on playing. We could get this eventually, certainly. Rescue someone from the bandits. Seems like that's something we should have already gotten an achievement for. Receive a gift. Seems like that's something we should have already gotten an achievement for. Give and get back. I don't know what that requires. Fully explore your shelter. Apparently we still have yet to do that. Defeat the bandit attacks. 3 bandit attacks in 1 game. Some of these achievements might just not be unlockable in survival mode alone. Ally with other wastelanders. I guess we allied with the mutants instead. Let's see. In apocalypse mode, grab only what a real gamer needs. Which I think is just like the cards and the checkerboards or something. Just one of those things. Let's see. Put on a stylish hat. Mad Hatter. Yeah, we unlocked a hat, certainly, but at no point did that seem like something we could use in the main game. Complete the holiday challenge. Cat lady. Feline domination. Raining cats and dogs. There can only be one. Reconnect with old friends. Enigma. Find Dee Dee's apartment, apparently. That's really hard to do. Yeah, I think we've got 2 more games in this, and then that's going to be the end of the series. It's taking so much time. Over an hour to play even 1 game, and then when I look back on every one of these games, it's just like, alright, well, we barely saw anything new there, and even if we did see something new, it wasn't anything too interesting. I know I'm saying the same things over and over again, but I mean, that's the only criticism I can really give a game that's so light on content is this. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.